Copan is on the western border of Honduras, and it is a very well-preserved site. And this is unusual because a lot of these sites were overgrown very rapidly or destroyed by the Spanish or other groups. So to find such a well-preserved site is going to be particularly important. And here we're going to find Stele D, portraying ruler 13. Now, just tearing that name apart because it sounds very awkward and very unusual. Stele D, in other words, we don't have a way of naming it. So we're simply going to attach a letter to it. And ruler 13, we don't know who ruler 13 is. We may be able to differentiate that ruler through his specific hieroglyphic, but we don't necessarily have a name or haven't agreed upon a name. So Stele D is at the center of the central plaza in Copan and is one of many carved with the portrait of a ruler who erected them. Oftentimes we will see names, accomplishments, and dates of their reign. These act as historical signposts, basically memorializing a specific ruler. In this case, this is the 13th ruler of the 16th Copan dynasty. And here we see him in an elaborate headdress, kilt, and sandals. And it's a little hard to make out. So let's try and tear this apart a little bit. Here he's got sort of a loincloth or kilt or skirt covering his midsection. He's got an elaborate headdress. Here's his actual head. Right here I'm going around the face. Here are the ears on either side, the rest of the head, and everything surrounding it. All of this is this massive and elaborate headdress. As always, he's depicted as youthful. Now, even in Roman times in the West, we see depictions of the emperors as youthful. You do that to show off a sense of power. When you're an absolute ruler, it only takes one person offing the absolute ruler to take power. Therefore, you depict yourself as young and powerful, even if you're 60 or 70 years old. The high relief would have originally been painted. And let me talk about that high relief here. In the Mayan tradition, what we see, I'm going to go ahead and erase all of that. In the Mayan tradition, what we see is really relief sculpture that happens to be in 3 dimensions. Now, it would have been painted. This would have been important to differentiate the different elements. This is, after all, very, very busy. But it's not in the traditional European relief form or European sculpted form. It lacks some of the 3-dimensional volume, the modeling that we would expect in the European tradition. Again, this is an element of a difference in style, a difference in aesthetic appeal, rather than a lack of skill, because the Mayans are definitely capable of working in sculpture in the round. Now, each element of the costume is individually symbolic of status and power. You can actually sit here and tear down elements. Everything is covered. If we were to get some close-ups, you would see elements of hieroglyphics, you would see elements reflecting power, fire, quetzal feathers, and other things. We do this even today. When you look at images of rulers, presidential portraits, you frequently see them wearing a power suit with a power tie, wearing things that are going to represent their station in life.